Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, my dear students. How are you today? Today is Thursday. Inshallah, I hope for you a happy weekend. Our English lesson today is personal narrative. What is personal narrative means? Who can tell me what is personal narrative means? Yes, personal narrative means a true story about your life. Did you remember what we talked about last week in personal narrative? Today we have draft one. Last week we had what? We had brainstorming. We collect ideas about what? About a story, a true story happen in your life. If you remember, these tables we draw sketches, you write some sentence about a true story happen in your life. MashaAllah, I find an interesting word works with you from you grade 2 last week. I find many nice stories. I find a lot of works very nice and brilliant work. Thank you for your work. Every time, mashallah, you are brilliant. You are perfect. Continue your work, inshallah. So, what I mean by draft? Draft, it will be the first version of your story. First thing you will write for your story. The most important events happen in your story. We will see that draft has parts. 3 parts in your draft you will use when you write. You will write important events in your story, you will write the main idea in your story, and you will write things happen in your story. Okay? So it will be a true story happen in your life. Don't forget, true story happen in your life. What are our objectives for today? By the end of this lesson, you should identify the key features of narrative writing. You should write a narrative draft with a clear sequence of events and relevant details. Draft means the first version of your topic, the most important events. Our introduction for today. Inshallah, we will copy these 2 links about personal narrative. First video will be opening or introduction about our personal narrative writing today, and video number 2, it will be writing a draft. Let's please watch these 2 videos together, then we will discuss what in the videos. Please focus when you watch the video because it will help you more to write first draft today in your writing tablet. Let's watch together. And now, let's please listen carefully and watch this video. Focus with this video so you will learn more how to write draft 1 in your story today. Focus, please.
Writing a personal narrative. Episode 3. Writing an introduction. A personal narrative is a true story about your life. You write about something that has happened to you. An introduction is the first few sentences of your story. It can also be called opening or the lead. We write introductions to hook the reader. We want the person reading our story to be interested and excited to read more. There are a lot of different ways you can hook a reader. I'm going to show you 4 different ways. The first way you could hook a reader is to start your story with a sound. These are called onomatopoeias. For example, you might start your story by writing, "Boom! I heard a loud crash in my house." The reader would wonder, I wonder what that crash was all about. They would be interested to read the rest of your story. Another way you could hook the reader is by starting your story with talking. This is called dialogue. For example, you could start by writing, "Go away, I told my brother." The reader would probably want to read more to find out what your brother was doing. You could also start your story by asking the reader a question. For example, you could ask, "Have you ever been to a water park?" This would help the reader make a personal connection to your story. People are more likely to like stories that they can relate to. And last, you can start your story by describing the setting. The setting is where and when your story happens. For example, you might write, "One dark, stormy night last weekend, I was home alone." Ooh, I bet the reader would want to read more about what happened on that dark and stormy night. So now I have several options about how to start my story. The story I am writing is about getting a new dog. I think I want to start my story with a question. I'm going to write, "Have you ever felt so happy you could cry?" That's how I felt last summer when my mom told me I could get a dog. I had wanted a dog for so long, I couldn't believe I was finally going to get one. Hopefully, people will read the introduction to my story and they will be hooked. They will want to read more. That's it. Check out episode 4 to see how I write a draft of the rest of my story.
Creative Music Cartoon.
Personal narrative. Episode 4. Writing a draft. A personal narrative is a true story about your life. You write about something that has happened to you. A draft is the very first version of your story. In your draft, you tell the most important events in the order that they happened. There are a few important things you should write in your draft. First, your draft should include the important things that happened that relate to the main idea of your story. If something is not interesting or important, then you don't need to write it. Your draft should also have transition words. These words help the reader understand the order in which events happened. We also use these words to link our ideas together. Some examples of these words are first, then, next, after, last, and finally. There are many more, too. You should choose ones that make sense and sound the best to you. Your draft should also have details. That means you should use descriptive words and sentences that help the reader imagine your story in their mind. Anyone should be able to read your story and imagine exactly what happened. This also makes your story more interesting and fun to read. Now, I'm going to write my draft. Here's a plan I've already made for my story. I decided I would write about when my mom told me I could get a dog. We went to the store, then we chose our dog, and last we got food and toys for it on our way home. I've already written my opening. It says, "Have you ever felt so happy you could cry? That's how I felt last summer when my mom told me I could get a dog. I had wanted a dog for so long, I couldn't believe I was finally going to get one." Now I'm going to start writing the first page of my draft. First, my mom came to my room to talk to me. She told me since I had gotten good grades at school, I could get a dog. I was so excited, I jumped up in the air. Did you see how I started with the transition word first? This told the reader that this was the very first thing that happened. I decided not to write that I was watching TV when my mom came in the room, because that wasn't a very important part of the story. I also wrote I was so excited I jumped up in the air so the reader could imagine just how I felt when my mom told me. Okay, now I will write my second page. I'm going to start with the transition word then. Then we got in the car to drive to the store. I couldn't wait. I smiled the whole way there. When we pulled up, I saw that the store had a lot of dogs that needed to be adopted. Can you picture in your mind what happened? I hope so. Next page. When we got to the store, I looked at all of the dogs. They were all so cute. All of a sudden, one came up and licked my foot. He was white and fluffy and so adorable. I decided he was a dog for me. Now for my last page. I'm going to start with the word finally to tell the reader that this is the last thing that happened. Finally, we put him in the car to take him home. He was wagging his tail and sticking his tongue out. On our way home, we stopped to get him some toys, food, and a collar. That's it. I wrote my story in order. I used transition words to connect all of my ideas. I tried to use details so you could imagine the story in your mind. And since this is just my draft, I can go back later and make it even better. Next, I will write the very last page of my story. Check out episode 5 to see how I write a closing.
I hope you understand what in our videos today about opening or the introduction, our topic, and writing a draft. We have to learn that the draft is the first version of your story. This is the first thing you will write in your story. Also, the most important events. You start to write about the most important events in your story. What are the parts of our draft? You will start to write important events, main idea, and things happen to you. And also, when we write the draft, you must write with words in order or you must use transition words. In the next slide, we will learn what are the transition words. Okay? So, our review today. Our transition words are here. What are the transition words and what we call them? Yes, we call them sequence. First, then, let me highlight it for you. So the transition words first, then, next, after that, and finally. Like we saw when the girl wrote about her first draft, she starts with what happened first, next, then after that, and the last bit she wrote about finally. This is we will do today inshallah when we write about draft. Okay, don't worry about the spelling. Inshallah we'll check everything next week inshallah. Here, what are features of personal narrative? The personal narrative, this is a revision from last week. What is the personal narrative? Personal narrative, it's what it tells a true story from the writer's life. This is number one. Tells a true story from the writer's life. It's about your life. Something happened in your life, okay? Number 2. It tells the most important events. Like I told you, the parts of the draft, most important events happen to you. 3. It has transition words. What are these words? These are transition words. First, then, next, after that, and finally. Here's some example about that. First, next, after that, and finally. 4. It uses details, descriptive words, and sentences. You will write what are descriptive words means I use what? I use adjective to describe my writing. Okay? So please let us read them quickly. Features of personal narrative tells about a true story from the writer's life, tells the most important events. It has transition words like first, then, next, after that, and finally. It uses details, descriptive words, and sentences. Please, everyone, make your hand like this and say the transition words in your fingers. Okay? Quickly, with your mother. First, then, next. After that, finally, there are transition words and sequence. This is our task. Today we have only one task. Before we start this task, let us revise and see what was our tasks last week. Last week, grade 2, we have 2 tasks. Did you remember? Task number 1, it was to draw drafts about what? To draw sketches about what? About your story. And I give you example about pajama day. Some wrote about birthday party, some wrote about a day when they make the cupcake, about getting a new pet, about go a trip, like that. Okay, so this is our brainstorming, collect ideas. Yes. Now here also in the task 2, you wrote here what it will be. This sentence, it will be the opening if your draft 1, the opening of this one. Okay, you see what is the topic already. You choose to write here, it will be in this topic today, in this draft 1 today. Okay, so this sentence here, it will be the opening of our paragraph. Don't worry for the spelling. Inshallah, in next week, any spelling mistake, we will check it together. And next week, when we start to write the final draft, no mistakes, inshallah, and we will publish our work. Okay, so please write in your writing tablet or any notebook at your home, and follow the video. See how the girl wrote about something happening in her life. Okay, getting a new pet or a new dog. Okay, so this is only your homework today, only one task. Please don't forget to improve your handwriting, make space, start your sentence with capital letter and ends with what? Yes, full stop. If it's question mark, if it's exclamation, use exclamation mark. Okay, now this is our closure. In a video, you will do a video, say the 5 transition words you use in your personal writing. You remember what they are, the transition words, or read out loud your personal writing draft. So do this or do this. Videotape yourself and send it to me. Thank you. I hope you understand our writing lesson today and enjoy the lesson. Please don't forget how the steps of writing a personal narrative, important events, main ideas, things happen in your story. After completing your work, don't forget to upload a picture or a video of it in your Class Dojo portfolio, please. Bye bye.